This is a short video to help others who might encounter an issue similar to the one I just experienced. November 1st, I began my semi-annual exercise of changing from street tires to studded tires on the vehicles. And I'm 60 years old and I've been changing my own tires since I was 15. And until now, I have never encountered this. And by the way, I always use a torque wrench and torque the wheel lug nuts to manufacturer specs. On my 2013 Jeep Wrangler, I took my 14-inch extension handle and a 13/16 socket and went around the vehicle to break free the lug nuts like I always do to expedite the process. 19 of 20 of these pop free, no problem. These are the stock nuts that came on the Jeep with alloy wheels. One nut on the right front refused to budge. So I took my 4-foot cheater and put it on the end of the extension handle, and that's when I found out that the standard lug nuts from Jeep are a solid nut with a metal veneer which ripped right off the nut when I applied pressure. The solid nut under the veneer is 11/16, so size smaller. So anyway, I tried a 12-point 11/16 socket, which basically had no grip around that nut, and all I managed to do was start to round the ridges off of the nut. So then I went to a 6-point socket and put the 4-foot cheater on it, and all I managed to do when I applied pressure was split my socket in half. I don't know if it's a cheap socket or what. I didn't think it was cheap. I tried multiple applications of PB blaster, penetrating oil, and heat applied to the end of the lug nut, end of the lug with the lug nut on it. And that combination has worked well for me in prior times, particularly with rusted bolts and pins, but it failed me this time. Then I tried the oil and the heat and an impact socket and a 3-pound hammer. And hours later, I got nothing but a mostly rounded nut, and I was getting desperate. So I watched many YouTube videos until I finally heard a reference to something called an extraction socket. So I Googled the term extraction socket, and this is what I found. It's a very beefy socket with spiral tines or ribs on the inside that gradually close together toward the back of the socket. So you drive this socket on with a big hammer, and you make sure you get it square. And by design then, the harder you turn, the harder those tines dig into the nut or the bolt, and it grips it really tight. And then I was able to put on my 4-foot cheater on the flex handle and a 1-inch socket on the outside of this and apply pressure, and that finally did the trick. So, 2 reasons I'm sharing this. One is to make others aware of these handy tools, extraction sockets. This set is called Bolt Grip and is made by Irwin, who are makers of Vice Grip. I found this set at the local car parts store with 5 sizes, the one 11/16, of course, being the one I was after. This was $30 including sales tax. The second reason I'm sharing this is I want to caution others on the potential safety hazard of defective lug nuts like this. When I examined this lug nut, you can see there's pieces of it taken out around the edge, and I don't know what caused that, but it's clearly a failure, and that's probably why it was grabbing so hard against the alloy wheel. So it's a safety hazard for me because I do a lot of backcountry driving where there is no cell phone access and in all kinds of conditions, and if I had a flat tire somewhere with this stuck lug, I would have been screwed. So for my own peace of mind, I invested $20 for a set of aftermarket solid metal acorn style lug nuts. I expect them to perform better, and experience will tell. The Jeep Chrysler lug nuts are going in the trash. So take care, all you backyard mechanics out there. If I enlighten just one of you, then this was worth the effort.